Hi, this is the Lourdes and Chris show. This brilliant, breathtaking perfection in all ways, shapes, and forms, and also smart and also beautiful and just amazing all around, is my gorgeous wife, Lourdes.
Thank you.
And I am more excited than a chicken at feeding time.
And they do get excited.
I know, our eldest daughter keeps chickens, and when she goes out there to feed them, they know how to party.
They do.
Those ladies.
It's so cute because they're so excited about it. It's like, mommy, that's
yeah.
I mean,
especially when she's got they can see she's got vegetables in her
Yeah.
hand or something like that. They're just like, oh my gosh.
they
And
love the vegetables, yes.
they do a little mosh pit underneath of her. It's amazing. It's actually quite
Well,
something
they
to
actually
watch.
even call for her, which is really cute.
Yeah.
They're adorable.
They're like, hello, we want you to come out now.
Yes.
Hello. So that's how excited I am.
Yes.
I'm more excited than chickens at feeding time.
Yes. And this is my amazing, truly extraordinary, unbelievable how great he is. I mean, you would think, right, that even with his flaws, he's perfect. He's got perfect flaws.
I go big or I go home with all things.
This is my husband, Chris.
And I'm more excited than a chicken at feeding time. Kind of an interesting segue to what we're going to talk about tonight.
Yeah.
Before we get into that, we do want to thank our partners at the drnewsome.com. Head on over to drnewsome.com and sign up for his newsletter. And take a look at all of his products. Every product that the man has on his website has a story behind it as to some patient that he helped to get to whole health. And that's what's amazing about the guy.
Well,
really.
not just that, outside of his extraordinary products, and we know because we use them and we really love what it does for our bodies. I mean, it's amazing, but it's not just because it's organic and he's done really great stuff with it, but he's even got regimens that you could, if you're dealing with how to deal with, type 2, how to reverse type 2 diabetes. And he's got a whole program on it with supplements. So it's like the books and recipes and supplements, and you purchase that. You've got to go onto his site. He's got extraordinary stuff that really changes your life.
Yeah, if you're facing some sort of a health opportunity of some sort or another, then you need to check out drnewsome.com and take a look at what he has to say about this stuff. He also does master classes. He does live speaking events. And if you sign up for his newsletter, you'd be abreast of all that's going on. And right now, if you go to drnewsome.com and you enter promo code Lourdes and Chris at checkout, you get 15% off. And so it's a good time for you to try something if you haven't tried it already, or if you're a returning customer, 15% off.
Yeah. And you're a returning customer, you know why you're returning. It's it really is extraordinary.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And we also want to thank those of you who have joined us on Lourdes and Chris, the Lourdes and Chris show.com. I want to make sure I say it right in case you haven't. No, go to the Lourdes and Chris show.com. That's where we are.
Yes.
And some of you have already joined for our newsletter and said hello to us via email. We said hi back because we're polite like that.
Yes.
And then
we do respond to all your emails, and those who have reached out to us, you obviously know we do.
Yes, and thank you so much for those who have donated to the Lourdes and Chris show.com and kept this conversation going, because really we're all about changing the world's conversations when it comes to our health and how we approach it. And health is, in fact, the best wealth. So
yep, if you got health, you got wealth.
Isn't that the truth? So today's show, we oftentimes we'll go into an episode and we think we have a direction in mind that we really want to go to, and we still kind of want to go that direction, but not as hard as we wanted to. So just to be clear, what we're talking about today, and the reason why I'm more excited than a chicken at feeding time, feeding time being the optimal thing right there, is because what we're talking about today is your intake, your food intake.
A healthy lifestyle, really.
Yeah, Dr. Newsome was talking to us a bit ago when we had him on. When we had him on the show, he was talking about how the food that you eat is actually kind of your first line of defense when it comes to keeping yourself to optimal health.
Well, because we get wrapped in this world of, we think that, we get sick, but it's out of our control. It just runs in our family. It's genetics. It's this, it's that. But when you start really digging in deep, right? When you go into that deepness, you really start getting that if it's genetics, you can turn on that bad gene, or you can just turn off that bad gene and only turn on the good gene. And it is in the intake that we do. And that's what we put in, on, and around our body. So it's really important of what we're taking in. Is it turning on the good gene, or is it turning on the bad gene?
Yeah, that's a good point. And the Lourdes and Chris show, many of you know us from another website that we had out there, the Create Option C,
which is still out there.
And it is still out there. And what Lourdes is talking about is option A. So maybe it's important for us to break it down real quick. Review for those of you who already know, and for those that don't know, option A are the people who will say, my genetics are such and such, and I'm going to wind up with this, that,
Or it
next
just
thing.
happened.
My mom and dad, they had it, and so the doctors have told me I'll be on this pill for the rest of my life, and they listen to the doctors wholeheartedly. They don't do their own research. They don't look into it themselves, and
Or they don't look for other doctors that give them a different thought.
Right. No, that's a really valid point.
Yeah.
They don't ask for a second opinion. They just
Third.
Yeah, right. Yeah. They just take any prognosis that's given to them as law, and they won't listen or even stay open-minded enough to hear that there are other options.
Yeah, and I guess it depends on, and this is just my opinion, I think it depends on, when you look deep inside, how profound do you really want to be when it comes to your health? Like, do you really want that great health? Do you really want to pursue that? Or do you rather just go, I don't want to do the work? Do you know what I mean? Because sometimes it's just, we don't want to do the work.
Yeah. And well, to your point, that's being honest with yourself about that. But that's more of an option coming up here pretty soon, because option B people, those are the ones that when they get a prognosis of something, they believe that life just happens to them, and they really do nothing one way or the other. They won't even go to a doctor to see what to do about it. They just live with it. And we were surprised by how many people we met that,
was a lot.
kind of fall into that.
Many of them were just like, who cares? It's like, so I got this thing, and I'm gonna die. We're all gonna die someday.
We're all gonna die of something. Lourdes had a close family. She was close with this family, almost as though she was part of the family. And one of the members of that family said, "I'll die with a cigarette in my mouth." And it was just one of those things where you're like, wow.
But that's the thing, is because when you've been doing something for so long, and I mean, I get it. When you do something for so long, it really is hard to step away from it because it becomes a habit. But you have to go, okay, this habit is costing me my health, and I'm not living at my best, because when you're really healthy, you can live at your best. When you're not at 100%, it really does make it hard to pursue anything, because you're just too tired, you just don't feel good enough, or you're just not in the mood. And you're not in the mood because most of the time we don't have that energy.
Yeah, a few episodes ago, Dr. Newsom was talking about how people just get used to something and they think that that's actually how health is, and that's option B, because they don't do anything about it. They just think, "Well, this is my life now." It's a lot of people have said things like, "As you get older, these aches and pains happen. As you get older, your body breaks down." Blah 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 blah.
Which it does make sense. See, I know a lot of people that are way up in age, and because they've had and I mean healthy lifestyle. I don't mean they add a little vegetables. I mean, like, they really eat healthy. They have never been on medication. They don't have no aches and pains. In fact, they're like 80 and they look amazing.
Yeah.
And some are in their late 70s
and
they look amazing.
Still running marathons.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing great. They look physically great. They look 20, 30 years younger.
They can dance me under the table. They don't care. Yeah.
I mean, they dress young, they look young, they feel young. Again, like I said, no medications, never been on medications. They don't get sick. And they're really, I mean, they're traveling, and you look at them, they're like teenagers.
And what we find to be the case is those are option C people that you're describing there.
Right.
So option C is the third option. Of course, this is the proponent that Lourdes and I push off, and that's why option C is everywhere you see that we have. But option C people take responsibility for their health. They figure out what works best for them, truly what works best for them, not anecdotally like, well, this is supposed to be good for you, so I'll just do this. No, like they do their checks and balances. They make sure that what they're doing is truly the best thing for them. And they're living their best, fullest life because of it. Listen, your health is 100% your responsibility. Your situation in life is 100% your responsibility. It's really the responsibility option. You're taking 100% responsibility for what's going on. And a big proponent of option C that we talk about a lot is integrity. And by that, I mean, these people that we're describing that are advancing in age, but still somehow
looking good.
Yeah. Physically doing things I want to do. Yeah, right. For sure. These people, they are in true integrity. They will not harm their temple that God has given. They will not harm their body temple with anything that could cause harm. Like, they won't bring anything into their environment that could cause harm. Your brother, by the way, is very much that now.
Yeah, and that's the thing is people go, well, I don't want to take something that's going to go into my body, cover the symptom, never fix the cause, and then that perpetuates. Then they end up with all these side effects, which isn't good. It's harmful. So they don't want to harm the body. And so there's people that go, well, it's just side effects. Well, unless it's a good side effect where it's like you're reversing aging or you're feeling great and it's literally putting things into your body that's really building you up. Well, that's a different side effect, but these aren't the side effects that we're talking about when it comes to pills. My brother, like you were mentioning, he was asthmatic from childhood to adulthood.
Yeah.
Like he always had asthma, always. And I'd say about 8 years ago, he decided, I'm just going to change my diet. And he went from, meat eater, the whole thing.
Standard American diet.
Yep. To 100% did a whole 180 and became vegan. I mean, more so than me. I mean,
he's a staunch
He
vegan.
like I'll cheat once in a while, and I don't mean by meat. I'll cheat once in a while and have cheese or
dairy,
or I may have I mean, because
it's just dairy, really.
Yeah. But and sometimes I'll have rarely, but maybe I'll have a cupcake. I mean, it's rare, but it does happen.
Some sort of a pastry or
some
something.
Kind of pastry or something, right? A rare thing that occurs, but I do that. My brother's just into, if what I'm going to put in isn't going to build my body, but it's going to break it down, I'm not touching it. So he took it to such a level that I have so much respect for, because 8 years ago, he changed his diet and became vegan. 8 years ago, he no longer used the inhaler that he used. Since then, it's like he's never picked up an inhaler, as I mentioned, and he hasn't had an asthmatic attack. His asthma is no longer there.
Well,
and this is something he suffered his whole life.
And then just recently we found that there was a study done.
We did.
Where 22 out of 24 asthmatics that changed their diet to a vegan diet.
They actually specifically said vegan.
Yeah. Are actually no longer asthmatic.
Nope.
22 out of 24.
So yeah, that's a huge number. So
that's
You take 24 people, they all go 100% vegan, and 22 of them no longer have asthma. Now, you never know what happened with the other two. You just don't know, because you have to be really
fair enough. But what they theorize, or the hypothesis then, is that animal products for a certain percentage of the population creates an allergic reaction, and this allergic reaction creates inflammation. And we just talked about inflammation with Dr. Newsom. Creates inflammation, and inflammation is what was causing the asthma, because it makes the lungs constrict, or the bronchial tubes constrict. So that's very telling that 22 out of 24 patients done in this study, when they switched to a vegan diet, found they're no longer asthmatic. Can you imagine living your whole life with something like that? I mean, your brother knows.
Yeah,
more than most.
Yes, and that's the thing. It's like, and not just that. I remember he was telling me that he always was like, at least every 3 to 6 months, he was seeing the doctor, because he either got sick or some type of infection. And this was a faithful, ongoing thing. He was always on some type of medication. And so he said that, like, after a year of not seeing the doctor because he changed his diet, they actually called because they were concerned they hadn't seen him. And he said, he made a joke and said, "You won't be seeing me anymore because I eat grass now," which was his joke. But to be fair, like, he changed his diet and it changed his life.
Absolutely. And on that note, we're going to take a quick break. We don't have to, we just choose to, because we want you folks to see Dr. Newsom's product. And we are going to come back. We're going to talk more about this whole, the idea behind changing your diet, at this point, we just want you to look at your diet.
Yeah.
And so when we get back, we'll talk about that.
What you can add.
Pay attention to your body's reactions.
The more you keep adding, there's so much food that you slowly push out the bad.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll be right back after these messages. Super Earth Energy.
Super Earth Energy.
For nearly 2 decades, Dr. Newsom was developing this formula.
This one.
2 decades of his life. Nearly 2 decades.
I mean, that's really dedication to giving you the best quality of a supplement that's going to give you not only energy, I mean, it improves adrenal and,
Well, so it improves your adrenal and muscle fatigue. It actually helps with chronic fatigue syndrome, a compromised immune system, sleep deficit, brain fog.
Which many are experiencing, a low sexual desire. I mean, this 2 decades, there's a reason. He put a great formula together. He formulated, and it's just amazing. Like, We love it.
Yeah. So here's the thing. It's like we were just telling our daughter the other day. It's not like it gives you like a caffeine jittery feeling. It's more like you're just awake.
Yeah, like, when you were a kid and
Right.
you didn't feel, kids they seem to not get tired. So it's kind of that. You don't go, oh, I feel like all this caffeine. It's none of that, because I personally can't do caffeine. It really, it causes me nausea, migraines. I just can't do caffeine. But I take this and I just don't feel tired. Like, I can spend a whole day really getting a lot of things done and not feel exhausted, or I have to take a nap, or I still do my meditation stuff, but oh my gosh, amazing.
It's because it's giving you energy at a cellular level. Now, all you have to do to get this product is go to www.drnewsome.com and look for Super Earth Energy. We've got that. We got it ourselves, but we should do a little, like, still show them what that bottle looks like. And there it is, Super Earth Energy. That's right. Go to drnewsome.com.
Yes. drnewsome.com. In fact, right here, we see the link.
Oh, see, now I got to put it there. I was going to put it there now, but now it's got to be there.
Or he can still put it here, but definitely here.
It's going to be 2 places now.
Super Earth Energy.
Okay, we're back.
I was determined to do it with you.
I saw that. That was hats off to you. So yeah, before we went on break, we were talking about the goal of this episode. Like I said, at first we were pretty hardcore with what we were going to be talking about tonight. Really, what we're really asking of people tonight is to take a look at what you're putting in your body, and so for a lot of folks, that's going to be an easy. You don't have to go too far to see what's happening.
No.
Here's
a quick one. It's real simple. Mm-hmm. The moment you cut out fast foods, and you start cooking more at home, you're already on the right step. Like, you've already taken the first right step, because now the stuff that has carcinogens and stuff because of the fried oils and all that is no longer in your system.
Yeah, we could really do an episode just on how carcinogenic these oils are, and they're finding it to be more and more so. Yeah. And if you think about fast food, and I used to eat fast food pretty religiously. This is before Lourdes and I really got conscious about what was going on with our health. I wound up with colitis. Yeah, not Crohn's disease. It was determined it was colitis.
Yes.
And the doctor said to me, well, this is a life sentence. You're going to have this for the rest of your life. Here are 3 different pills to take that will control the symptoms. Now, the reason why that was desirable for me at the time, and I want you to understand what I was dealing with, is I would be in pain all day and have to go to the bathroom several times a day. And when I did go to the bathroom several times a day, it was a
very bloody mess.
It was crimson. Yeah, it was crimson, and there was a lot of bad coming out. In fact, when I went to the doctor, she said we can hope that it's colitis, because if it's not, then it's stomach cancer. Yeah. So it was that severe.
Severe.
So when the doctor said to me, you're going to have colitis for the rest of your life, this is just how it is. Yep. These pills, there's no cure for it. There's no cure for it. This is just what's so. These pills will help control the symptoms. I was like, yeah, let's get these symptoms under control. Having said that, my beautiful and brilliant and amazing wife,
that'd be me,
said before, and this is, I think everybody should take a page from this thought process, because life-changing, life-altering for me. Before you fill, actually, I filled the prescriptions. I had them. Oh no, but she's there. That's right. You told me not to. Before you filled the prescriptions, you said, try to change your diet for.
Yeah, let's do these. Let's do.
No, you didn't even give me a time frame. You just said change your diet first. Let's see what happens.
I said 30 days.
That's right, 30 days.
I said give yourself 30 days. Let's start changing your diet. And then we were doing the products of these specific high vibrational cellular food of Sunrider.
Yep.
So I said, let's drink these things and take in these supplements. And if in 30 days you're not better, then get the prescription. And actually, it was 5 days.
Yeah, within 5 days, I stopped. A lot of the symptoms started dropping off within 5 days of me changing my diet and introducing these high vibration foods from Sunrider. So within 5 days, the cramping had subsided a great deal. I no longer saw crimson. I started having regular bowel movements, and
And that was
I never filled those
like,
prescriptions.
that was like almost 20 years ago.
Yeah, that was 20 years ago. That, and I was told this would be a lifetime sentence,
And that you couldn't cure it.
and I couldn't cure it.
For some reason, for 20 years, he hasn't had that problem.
Nope, no flare-ups, no nothing. Yeah. I mean, I've spoken to other people who have suffered from Crohn's and colitis, and they said, no, there's flare-ups. It'll come back. No, never did.
Never had a flare-up, never got that, and that's 20 years.
But that's really because my body, if you think about what was happening, and this is what option C is. Let's go to the root cause. I was responsible for what had happened. And by that, I mean, I was lacking some nutrition in a severe way.
Yeah.
It's obvious that I was, because it allowed for this colitis to take root.
But not just that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's what we put in our bodies.
Right.
And during that time, the job you actually had to take some type of shot because of the job you had.
Right. Actually, that was before I got the colitis.
Right.
So when I started,
I
started working for this company, we had to get certain vaccinations, and so I did. Why not? And yeah.
And then you ended up having problems.
Yep.
But we never put it together.
No.
I mean, we did now. But we're like, oh, there's wait a minute.
Yeah, at the time
that happened and this happened. So
yeah, at the time you don't think about it. I mean, that's the option that I was option A at the time. I didn't think about it. I was like, oh, well, I have to take this shot. No problem. I'll take this shot. I don't want to get hepatitis or whatever the shot was for. And next thing you know, this problem comes along, and I didn't connect the two.
And then the problem comes along, but it's not like you're eating great.
Right.
And it wasn't like he was taking something to pull that out of his system and rebuild the damage, because we just thought it just happens.
Yeah. Oops, this happens. It must be something, my genetics. And you even ask the doctor, well, how does this happen? And you go, well, it's genetic, sometime in the past, or somebody in your family probably had it. And,
even though nobody in your family has it, somewhere maybe down the line.
My great something or other had this, and now it just skipped a bunch of generations and got onto me. So that's actually what she said. She said it was it was something that my family must suffer from. So, but that's just an example of it's a pretty major example, but it doesn't even have to be that major. If you're dealing with bloating every day, for example, or if you're dealing with just like gas or anything like that, any discomfort, that's your body telling you, and Dr. Newsom said as much as well, that's your body telling you that, hey, you're putting something in here that doesn't agree with me, that's not right.
And we need to start learning to listen to our bodies. It's real simple. If you're eating healthy stuff and you're getting bloated, you have, like he said, leaky gut. If you have leaky gut, something's causing. Now it's time to heal that, not take a pill, but literally change your diet to heal that, so that you're able to eat these other things that aren't affecting you.
So if you're still eating fast food, I strongly recommend that you don't do so anymore, because back to that point, fast food restaurants, if you think about their whole model, they have to crank food out as fast as possible. So this food's not real food anymore. And maybe it never was. I mean, maybe it never was at the factory.
Because if you look at what food's supposed to be, right? Food is supposed to be something that nourishes you. So if you're taking something in and it's not nourishing you, it really isn't food.
Right. And it's carcinogenic in the sense that the oils that they're using to deep fry all this stuff.
And the degree they put it at,
studies have shown that actually is carcinogenic. So, right. And we wonder why there's a cancer problem. It's like
some folks are like, well, it's carcinogenic, something that causes cancer.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So and that's an easy one. Just stop doing fast food. If you have a sweet tooth after you eat, that's a symptom of something as well. You need to look into that. If
a buildable yeast.
Yeah, candida or yeast in the body or something like that. That's something to look at. If you have any of these things that you kind of go, that's weird. I got this thing. I got to do this. Or after I eat, I get this or whatever. Heartburn, for example. We have some friends one friend cured his heartburn by drinking apple cider vinegar. But he found a way.
But he found a way.
Yeah.
And that, because apple cider vinegar really is good for you. Obviously, you have to mix it with water. You don't do it straight. But people find stuff because they're looking to find something that they can heal without putting something that's going to cause other side effects.
And as a side note, I know that we had the FDA episode like 3 or 4 episodes ago at this point now, maybe even longer ago. If you haven't seen that FDA episode, then you just go to the Lourdes and Chris show.com. All of our episodes are listed right there. So check out the one which it's not called the FDA episode. It's the Why We Had to Go to Mexico Part 1. And so as a side note, not really what this episode is about, but it is important to note that the what am I thinking of?
I don't know.
Yeah, the heartburn,
Oh man!
Right?
I knew until I said what I said.
This is strange. Gosh darn it!
Anyway, when you're having heartburn, That's what-
Antacid.
There we go.
Okay, I did it.
Antacids.
I feel good.
So
Don't you love that when you get that thing stuck in
you
your
don't
noodle?
want to take that stuff.
Right. No. Okay. I'm sorry. So back to my point.
No, you don't want to take that.
I got off on a little tangent there. But you don't want to, the antacids that they're being prescribed, I'm talking prescription strength antacid approved by the FDA. They're now lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit because it's known to cause cancer. And
well, because you think about it, you didn't get to the root cause.
Right.
And it needed something naturally to go in there and just take care of it. And there's so many things. I mean, honestly, just taking ginger root and boiling it in water and drinking the water and sipping the water and getting that in your system, that helps. I know people go, oh, but I can't have ginger. Well, you can if you do it the right way.
You do it like a tea.
Yeah, if you put it into a tea and you got plenty of the water going in there, you're going to be fine. It's mostly when people just go straight. We do straight, but I'm just saying yes.
Because get it in there is how I feel about it. I want my ears to burn. So that's just another like little side, again, not what the episode's about, but just as a sidebar. Yeah. I mean, again, once more, it was proven once more that the option that you think is the best option, which is what the doctor is prescribing you because he cares and he loves you, is causing these problems down the road.
Well, the thing, when it comes to having a healthy lifestyle, you do need to put back in more healthy stuff into your system, but you have to figure out what else can I do naturally to heal, to figure out, and I mean, because the body really is meant to heal.
Well, actually, what we're most starved of, I think, sweetheart, is I think the standard American diet does not allow for micronutrients, phytonutrients. It doesn't allow for, listen, you should be eating more leafy greens than anything else.
And organic
for sure,
yes.
guys, because pesticides
when we talked with Dr. Newsom,
yes,
one of those episodes, you guys got to check out the episode with Dr. Newsom. We have several, and he's just an extraordinary man.
Yes, really opens your eyes.
Yeah, literally with a plethora of information that really educates you, so that when you go somewhere, you go, oh, no, I don't want to do that. I want to do this. That's the level of education he gives us.
Right.
But he even said, when you eat something that's gotten sprayed and pesticides, it's destroying our microbiome. So now when you eat something organic, it's not going to absorb it because that's stopping that as well. And so you start cleaning that stuff out and then going into organic, because organic is where you want to really start.
Yeah. And that's what this episode is about. We're really, really, really encouraging people to take a look at what your intake is, what you're putting in your body when it comes to food. I mean, we're going to take a break again because it's that time. When we come back, we're going to discuss the fallacies that a lot of people have out there. Like, people will say to Lourdes, once they've been diagnosed with cancer or some other horrendous illness, they'll say, I do eat healthy. And she'll say, well, what does that look like? So we'll talk about that.
Give me your, what do you eat when you get up in the morning for breakfast and then lunch and your snacks and your dinner? And it's amazing what they thought was healthy isn't.
Yeah, so we'll be right back with that after this break with Dr. Newsom. By the way, his supplements are so amazing. The reason why we love that we've partnered with him is because literally everything that we talk about in these little breaks here, 100% factual, and his products are amazing. So check it out, Dr. Newsom. Super Digest.
Super Digest, one of the most, well, I should say, one of the strongest digestive formulas on the market.
Yeah. And again, this makes sense, right, Dr. Newsom? But now you guys are seeing a theme, right? Dr. Newsom just does the best because that's what he does.
And when it comes to your digestive system, because that's where you get the most of, nutrition, you definitely want it to be amazing.
The top notch.
Yep. And this is like 10 types of active digestive enzymes to enhance your digestion of protein, fats, and carbs, as well as pineapple proteolytic enzyme and papaya proteolytic enzyme. Proteolytic. It sounds like an era of dinosaurs, doesn't it? Yeah, proteolytic.
This dinosaur was found in the proteolytic era.
I just like saying proteolytic.
Yeah, that's actually our new word now. We're just going around saying proteolytic.
And it's got pineapple proteolytic.
We never had to learn proteolytic until we met Dr. Newsom, and now we understand what proteolytic is. It's an enzyme that actually helps you break down protein.
And by the way, and carbs, and you need the enzymes to break down the proteins and carbs and the stuff that you need, because that's how you get your nutrition.
Right, and this one has like 10, right?
Yes.
10 of types of active digestive enzymes.
Active. There's the key.
Yeah, they're not
Active
sleepy. They're not sleepy enzymes.
No.
They're not just like, well, we'll get to you. No, they're active. They're running around.
Active. 10 types of active digestive
So
enzymes.
you want to go to www.drnewsom.com, look for Super Digest that my lovely model wife assistant is holding.
And by the way, the products we share, it's because we take them.
We're using them.
Because we love what it does for our bodies. It's really good. So you guys definitely, oh my gosh, like it.
Yeah. Digestion is crucial to your health, and that's why Dr. Newsom has created this Super Digest.
If you have issues with your digestive system, you're going to want Super Digest.
That's right.
Yep. Super Digest.
And we're back.
We're back. I thought I tried to mock the button push for her on this one.
I'm looking at him like
she's too clever.
I was checking him out. Like, he's not touching that.
She checks me out all the time as it is. I mean,
come on.
Why wouldn't she? So anyways, we're back. And before we went on break, we were actually talking about, so I'll give Lourdes a scenario. Lourdes, you've had people who reached out to you and said, I'm dealing with this health opportunity. It's pretty bad.
Yes.
And you say, what's your intake?
Well, I just tell them, it's like, okay, so you first tell me like what's going on with them, and I'm going, okay, so let me send you recipes and information, that things that I would do myself if I had that problem, and how I would take care of it. I said, because you really need to change your lifestyle and start eating healthier. Right.
I think that's a really valid point, because and then I'll let you finish. It's really super important to understand what she's saying there. Pay attention to your habits up to this point have caused this to happen.
Yeah.
And it didn't just happen to you by accident. It wasn't like a meteor came out of the sky and, flew over your house. And so suddenly you got this weird thing.
Well, it's not like your body's doing great and there's something, not no more.
It's a good that's a good sci-fi story, actually. I'm gonna have to write that down when we're done here. Anyways.
But so, because you have to understand, when something happens, it's been happening.
Yeah.
It was slowly but surely creeping in there, and then finally it had so much overload of toxins and heavy metals and
reactions,
and all these whether it's coming from your foods or the the chemtrails in the air or what have you. Yeah. The stuff that we put in it. I mean, even down to if we're putting lotion on. Remember, our skin absorbs things that we put on it. Point. So if we got those toxins in there, and we're eating stuff that's not pulling those things out and building your body up, it's going to eventually take havoc. And most people think they are eating healthy when, they grab something out of a can or a box or a bag. Right. That's not fresh.
There was one gentleman in particular that Lourdes was advocating for, and he reached out to her, and so she gave him her protocol. Well, this is what I would do.
This is what I would do.
Yeah, this is what I would do. And he reported back like a week later that he was getting worse, and Lourdes said, well, what's going on?
So tell me what you're eating.
Yeah.
Like, give me the download. Like, when you got up this morning, what did you eat? What was the very first thing you ate and drank that day, right? So we got into this conversation, and I even let him know, even when you're eating, try not to drink in the middle of it, because you don't want to kind of stop the process.
Yeah, that's what you would do. Yeah.
And so, so he goes, no, I'm doing that. I'm like, okay, so what'd you eat? And then he tells me, well, this morning, it sounded good so far. Okay, that's not bad. There's nothing wrong with oatmeal and fruit. Okay, good. I said, so did you have anything snack? Yeah. I ate some type of fruit. I'm like, oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, great. Yeah.
Everything was sounding good.
So far, so good. Yeah.
So far, so good. And I said, so what'd you eat for lunch? He said, oh, well, so I didn't have much time. So I stopped at, and I forget what fast food he said he got.
Fast food restaurant. Yeah.
He goes, oh, yeah, but I got
a veggie something.
Vegetable burrito, whatever, with right. So then I said, okay. So
hold on.
so it was all organic? No, it's not organic. Okay. So now you're putting stuff that's got in there that's not organic, that could be genetically modified. Got it. I said,
no, likely is.
Yeah. And then I said, but you had a tortilla. And right now, with what you're dealing with, right, anything that's made with flour is going to cause problems in the gut. And he had problems in the gut. I mean, severely. I mean, we're talking cancer, right? It was really, really, really bad. So, and this is after he's done everything the doctors had told him to do. And then they sent him on his way to go, sayonara,
Now you know another good point, babe, and you're just so good at stumbling across these little points.
What's the point?
There's no such thing in our perspective, in our belief. There's no such thing as it's done. It's over.
Yeah.
If you're still breathing, you can do something.
Yeah. It's like now if you're pushing daisies.
Yeah, right.
Then it's done. But as long as you're breathing and you're alive and your heart is pumping blood and you're there, you just need to give it something to breathe, like strengthen that up and start getting rid of those little things that are in there.
Yeah.
And so that being said, I said, you went to a fast food restaurant. And he goes, well, because I was hungry and I didn't bring it.
I didn't have any time.
Right. And I said, and see, this is why you have to get into the habit of when you know you're going to go out. Because it's not like you go, oh my gosh, I'm out here. How did I get here?
What just happened? I wound up out.
I just blinked and I'm
Why
out.
did I get to work?
Right. So you know where you're going. I mean, you literally know what your day's going to be like, right? You know you're going to go somewhere. So you prepare that food. So when you're driving or doing whatever and you get hungry, you dig into that bag and you eat that apple, or you eat that fruit or vegetable or meal that you made at home.
Yeah, actually, I think the other thing too you told him too at the same time was quadruple the amount of leafy greens you've got coming in.
Yes,
yeah.
And juice, because you can make juices and take with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Because then you saturate the cells at that level. But his thing was he was already in the habit of not getting anything prepared and just go and then grab whatever is out in some fast food restaurant. And that's where his downfall was, he didn't change that habit. We have to change our habits when our habits have been taking control of our lives.
Yeah. And then that's a really, sometimes Lourdes be talking and I'm just like, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. She's right about that. And what's weird is before Lourdes had the cancer and before we really got conscious of all this, I would have been like, you're crazy. You're nuts. Why? Because we were eating the standard American diet. Now, the standard American diet says meat at every meal. The largest portion on your plate should be meat. Fast food, desserts. Make sure you get dessert.
Yeah. Meat, potatoes, and dessert.
Yeah, meat, potatoes, dessert. Starchy.
Yeah. We're not
sides.
They're saying fruits.
Yeah, right. And I know that we all grew up in elementary school where they had that little pyramid up on the thing where it's like you should be eating mostly this and this, and that's the food triangle and whatever
you have
else.
To take it and flip it, and that's actually
better. Flip it around, folks, because that's actually what's better for you. Now, Lourdes and I, by choice, have become vegan, except for when we're not vegan, we're vegetarian. Makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense.
In other words, we still don't eat.
We won't touch your brother coined a phrase, and I use it all the time now. We won't eat carcass.
Yeah.
Kind of a gross way of saying it, but honestly, legit, right?
I don't. Yeah. I just don't have a desire. I think once you get so used to putting all these, recipes together and just really, in fact, if you go to createoptionsea.com,
yes,
there are recipes there.
Yeah. That's right. We should bring some. No, they're already linked. So even if you were to go to the lourdesandchrisshow.com, you can get to Create Option C on there as well. Right? Yeah.
If you can't, you just go to createoptionsea.com.
If I'm wrong, just go to createoptionsea.com. And there's a whole breakdown of recipes and things like that. But
there's even information. Like there's one about honey.
We're going to get into honey, aren't we?
Honey is so good. And I know people go, but that's not vegan.
She's so passionate about honey, guys.
I love honey. And anytime someone tells me that's not a vegan thing, I say that's an opinion. Their opinion, if you're eating honey, somehow you're eating the bug, but you're not eating the bug because you're eating their spit. It's pretty much what it is, right? Bees go into these flowers,
the nectar and pollen,
and then they spit it out. So it's like saying, when I've kissed my husband, when we exchanged saliva, I ate him.
Let that image sink in.
It's so stupid. So anyway, but so you get my gist. If people who all over the place, even vegans, have a relationship and they make out, they exchange saliva.
But
so I look at a bee and their saliva that they've taken out from the nectar and put it in, and it's created this beautiful thing as honey. especially the darker the honey, the higher the antioxidants, by the way. But
Mhm.
it's like it's known to
I was just going to say, do tell us more about honey and why you love it so.
it's antifungal, antibacteria.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
that's why it's good when someone's got a cold or an infection.
It's known as a superfood.
Yep, it is. But it's because it's got all the vitamins and minerals in it, which our bodies need. Again, like I said, antiviral, antibacterial, antifungal. But then it's also known to fight certain cancers and heart disease.
Yeah.
So I don't know, when you're eating something that is actually healthy, which is the only way I sweeten my stuff, by the way. I don't use sugar.
Every day Lourdes has honey. I don't have it every day. I should get better about that. But
Yeah.
the important thing to
That's
note
how I
about
sweeten
this
everything.
is it's true. That's your sweetener.
Yep.
Is when we get honey, what Lourdes and I are looking for specifically, we read the labels.
Organic,
It's got to be
raw.
organic. It's got to be raw, and it can't be like honey product, which those are out there. So watch out for those.
Yes.
Organic,
Yeah.
raw honey,
And I don't get the ones where they've harmed the bees and
the
little
humane
eggs
ones.
and stuff on there.
Mhm.
Like no.
And also, if you can, and so we were just talking about this with Dr. Newsom, but if you can find local honey, not local, okay,
Stop it.
local.
Local.
Now it sounds like you're singing loco.
Local. No, not local.
Girl, you loco.
I ain't local. I'd be loca. Anyway.
Girl, you loca with your honey. Anyways, yeah, local honey because it's taken from all the
well, the plants and stuff that
yeah.
are in your area.
Yeah,
So it's great when it comes to allergies and stuff,
Right.
because now you're taking in something that helps you to fight allergies.
And to go a step further with that, what the research we found it actually specifies eat fruit that's in season for your area. Eat plants that are in season for your area, because it's all kind of this bigger clock that we're all connected to, and people don't realize it.
Well, because when you're in your area, you're breathing in those things.
Mhm.
And if you have an allergy problem, but you're taking like honey or those things, and it's in your ear, so your body is like adjusting to the things that you're around.
Yeah, your body is this brilliant. I'm telling you, man, there is no way that this is all by accidents, guys. I'm telling you, we're designed so perfectly. We're the perfect machine. There's no way that we're accidentally here, and this atom collided with that atom. Well, look what happened. So this miracle happened all by accident. Right. I'm here to tell you guys, all by design. We're built perfectly, and your body knows naturally what to do with the right food, and it actually knows what to do with bad food. And when we come back, we'll talk about that a little bit, because that's where your inflammation comes in. That's where your reactions come in. So yeah, we'll come back to that.
We're going to take a break.
Jeez.
And we'll be right back.
Yeah. Dr. Newsom's Inflamagon.
It's powerful anti-inflammatory botanical formula.
So this bad boy's got curcumin, and he gets that curcumin from organic turmeric root.
Yes, which is important. We want organic. And freeze-dried frankincense oil.
Freeze-dried frankincense oil is boswellic acid, actually. Boswellic acid.
I love these words.
I know. Our vocabulary has been so expanded since we started working with Dr. Newsom.
Yes.
And that's boswellic acid is important, because it's one of the things that help you. It actually helps with inflammation, but it also is an inhibitor for tumors.
Yeah.
So
so why not prevent or get rid of if you have one of those things, or you don't know you have it yet?
Yeah, right. And why just jump ahead of it? Because this formula is bound to Dr. Newsom's unique fulvic acid and humic acid.
Which, by the way, those two minerals that you really do need if you want to stay healthy. And it gives maximum absorption and anti-inflammatory action. You're likely dealing with inflammation. Yes, because most people don't realize that if you end up with certain pains and aches, that's inflammation. Inflammation causes aches and pains to let you know there's an issue.
And prolonged inflammation is really what causes these chronic illnesses, up to and including cancer. So
we take this as well, and it's amazing. In fact, real quick tidbit, even as a thin person, I always had this little pouch. But since I've been taking this, I'm like, I must have had inflammation, because that little pouch is gone.
Goodbye pouch, no more punch. So you want to go to www.drnewsom.com, get that anti-inflammatory formula of his in Inflamagon. I love the name Inflamagon.
Like it's gone.
Inflamagon.
Inflam is gone.
We love it.
We do.
I'll let that one slide. We love it. We know that you love it too, because look, inflammation is something that you really want to work out of your system right now.
Yeah, like if you want to avoid health issues, when you have too much inflammation just creates, and especially if it's consistently going on,
right.
It causes diseases, it causes illnesses. Who wants to be sick?
And you can trust Inflamagon because it comes from Dr. Newsom, and
we trust it.
We trust it, and we love it.
And we take this sucker daily.
Love it.
We like to prevent.
We're back. Okay, so your body, like I said, is before we went to break, is built brilliantly. Like you're designed in such a way where it actually will take in what it needs from nutrition. It also will react to what's bad.
You know, I gotta say, our bodies are built brilliantly, but so is this planet.
Yeah. No. Yes.
Because
we're part of it. Yes. Right.
Think about it. We're built so perfectly, and our planet is built so perfectly that it makes and creates the things that we need.
Right.
And you know, and when you look deep, I mean, down in the water, the earth makes its water, the earth makes its oils, the earth makes its nutrients. I mean, why do we get oils in the first place?
Yeah.
You know, think about the plants.
Yeah.
They make oils from corn, from vegetables. Why? Because they carry oil, but yet they got the roots. So you really think hard. The planet makes oil.
Yeah.
So we'll never run out of oil. The planet makes water. We don't never make, and we're mostly made of water, and our bodies run on nutrients, minerals, phytonutrients, trace minerals, all these things. So if you look at the way
our body, like Dr. Newsom has instructed us, our body creates enzymes and these different chemicals if given the right building blocks. You, me, the world makes the stuff we need if we're given the right stuff.
Well, think about it. Our appendix, that doctors always say they don't know why we have it.
Mm-hmm.
But I learned a few years back that the appendix actually creates an enzyme that you can't get anywhere else other than through your appendix.
Right.
So when that's removed, you no longer make that very important enzyme. There's no way to get it back.
Right.
So that's why I always tell people, it's like, if that's, to avoid flare up, we personally do coffee enemas, because it does detox the liver.
That's right.
And the liver works with the gallbladder because it sets.
Dr. Newsom was just talking about this.
Yeah, it all works together.
Yep.
It's like, certain fluids the liver sends to the gallbladder so that it later uses it for breaking down things, right? So that's why you also want to keep that organ too. So instead of removing organs, we want to do things to keep our bodies healthy, so we keep those things.
Right. So what we have found to be the truth.
Yes.
This is our truth.
Yes.
And listen, when we did research for this show, we realized what we're about to get into right now is a real divisive topic. We're going to suggest try a vegetarian diet. And you can go online right now and you'll find
a long list
of reports saying we're not meant to be vegetarian, a very long list that says we're meant to be vegetarian, a very long list that says it's meant to be a combination of the two. And these are scientific studies, and they're all out there. But this is why we're talking try vegetarianism.
This is the thing. While there's all these different, you have to have this, or you have to have that, or you need to have both, right? All you got to do is just try something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you physically feel better,
right,
then obviously that's something you're supposed to be doing, because you're feeling better. That means your body's agreeing.
And we don't mean eat a half a salad at breakfast and be like, oh, I just back to bacon for me. No. Give it a true try. Here's the thing.
I mean, do a mix of fresh organic fruits. Do a mix of oatmeal, oats, like with blueberries and some honey mixed around it. That's a great breakfast. I mean, there's so many different things that you can do, right? Like oatmeal is known to be good for the heart.
So if you have Netflix, go on to Netflix, watch the movie Game Changers.
Yes.
That's all I'll say about that. They haven't paid us to endorse or anything like that, but it is an eye-opening.
But we did watch it.
We did watch it. It's eye-opening as far as what being conscious of what we're putting in our body. The whole
Well, and what we like about it is because you got these people that they did these studies on.
yes,
I mean, we're talking like they were drawing blood and checking things out. It was really good.
professional athletes,
Yeah.
guys, professional athletes that have proven that by switching to a plant-based diet, they're more powerful. They're less prone to get injury. They have more stamina. They can go longer.
Yeah, and we're talking people from all ages.
Right. And here's the thing.
There was a specific guy who was way much older than the younger ones that he
Yes.
did, and he outdid every one of them.
Yes. So the thing about the vegetarianism, we have our close friends, our close doctors and scientists are also divided on this topic. So I know everybody's divided on the topic, but one thing that is common, even with those that still say, "No, have meat," it is a small part of their diet.
Yes.
What I mean to say is, most Americans right now, if they have meat in their diet, it is the main thing on the plate.
Right. Like
Everything
that's the
else,
main dish,
yep.
and then they'll add a couple of crumbs.
Everything else supplements that, and a lot of times it's overcooked vegetables or starchy vegetables, which has its own little thing going on with it.
Not fresh.
Not fresh. I can almost guarantee that most people just don't get enough phytonutrients into their body, and you get that through leafy greens. Leafy greens honestly should be the majority thing that you're putting in your body,
Well, there's also
according to a lot of
I
studies.
would say there's also something that I thought was really interesting through our research and stuff is the word meat.
Yep, that's true.
So the word meat, right, now means animal flesh. But in the beginning, before it was known as that, it was actually meant as vegetables. So when they spoke of meat, meat meant the meat of the vegetable, the meat from the fruit. It did not mean meat as the flesh from the animal.
Actually, to your point, if you look at the first book of the Bible, Genesis, when God had created everything, he basically there are descriptions on like guidelines given to Adam: eat the seeds, eat the fruit, eat the nuts, and so too will the animals.
Yeah, and not just that, it actually even talks about the food they would eat. It had seeds in it, right? So now later on, you can eat all of it, all the meat.
Yeah.
But and if you think about it this way, there are vegetables and certain fruits, or I shouldn't say fruit, but some vegetables that don't have seeds in them. So when you think, for me, it was like you can have all of it now. Just means even the ones that doesn't have the seeds, because in the beginning it had to have seeds.
You're right. That's true.
It actually said it had seeds in it, but not every vegetable has seeds in it.
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
So the other thing is that so the most powerful animals on this planet, elephants, gorillas, apes, horses, oxen, the list goes on and on and on.
It's a very long,
I mean,
those that live for like 200 years.
Yeah, right.
Years.
They're vegetarian, guys. Yeah. The most powerful animals on the planet are vegetarian. There are arguments. Yeah, there are arguments.
They live longer.
Yeah, they live longer. There are arguments that specify that the human body is actually meant to be a vegetarian. You'll find others that say otherwise. But what I find compelling is that, for example, how long our intestinal tract is more prone to an herbivore diet than it is a carnivorous diet. So,
right.
But just for facts' sake,
or even our little teeth it's perfect for nuts and seeds.
Yeah, breaking nuts and seeds and cutting through grain and grass and things like that. We're designed to be this right here. Carnivores can't do that.
Yeah.
Like your cheetahs and your lions, it's just like a hinge. Chomp, chomp, chomp.
Yeah.
They can't do this. Their mouths aren't meant to do this.
Nope. Not meant to do that at all.
But herbivores are, oddly enough. So anyways, so there are even studies that show, okay, so here's the thing. Studies show again and again and again that if you want, for example, if you want to reduce the heart disease, go with a vegetarian diet. We had a friend who was diagnosed with heart disease, and the first thing that doctor, and that doctor was an MD, by the way, said to him, "No more red meat."
Yep.
And we're like, "Huh."
What is the thing? And most people are like, "Yeah, because red meat is bad." Well, you can either eat that meat because it's an animal, or you can't. Right.
Well, no, even the World Health Organization, which we're kind of iffy with. Well, anyways,
yeah, when it comes to
whatever with those guys, but they did specify that meat, red meats, and chickens and things like that are carcinogenic. Or there are, I should say, let me correct myself. They propose that there are studies that show that they are carcinogenic. Now, what they kind of backpedaled on was they said it's because of how the meat was prepared. We read the report and we're like, yeah, it's just carcinogenic. We know that's true because when Lourdes went to a facility in San Diego that focuses on getting you to optimal
Raw
health,
vegan,
it was raw vegan.
Yep. Nothing cooked. It was all a lot of.
There wasn't even a
juicing,
stove at the place.
Nope. Everything was raw. It was a lot of juicing, but it wasn't just juicing. It was everything you ate was like this mixture. And it wasn't just like just this type of leafy. It was different type of leafy greens and different types of seeds and nuts.
Well,
and,
dehydrated foods.
yeah, and sprouted.
Sprouted was big
yeah,
for them. Yeah,
it
they
was
were big into
huge.
sprouted.
But there was a lot of those things and probiotic water that they made.
Well, that's true. You're right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So and a certain amount of water that you drink on a daily basis. It was like this whole way of eating. And it did. I mean, I could see the change.
No, you were. I dropped you off on one Sunday. You went through like 3 days of severe detox.
Yes. Well, if you think about it, when you eat at that level of like raw, vegan, healthy, organic, it's like it really starts pulling all the stuff out, and you're like, oh, I had a lot of junk in there.
Yeah. She was kind enough to show me the junk that was coming out.
I did.
Okay, but after the 3-day detox, she felt amazing, guys. It was like
it was like a light switch.
Yep, click. Now you're feeling amazing.
Yeah, I went from feeling horrible. I mean, I could smell everything from a mile away. It was just like, oh, my body just ached, and I felt just like death. But it was weird. It was like the third day, and it wasn't like the full day. It was like on the third day, by the middle of the day, it was like all of a sudden, it was like a switch. I felt so good.
No, so by that following Sunday when I went to visit you, you had already had notable, your lymph nodes had already notably shrunken.
Oh, a lot, yes.
To the point where she couldn't lay on one side, guys, when she was there because of the pressure that was on the node. She could lay on that side again because it had shrunken up.
I could actually sleep on that side.
And by the time you at the end of 3 weeks, some of those nodes had flat out disappeared.
Or you didn't see them anymore.
Yeah, well, I guess you're right. I didn't see them anymore. I don't know.
You couldn't physically see, because before I got there, you could see them. And then when I left out of there, you no longer could see
Now,
them.
she smelled like onion.
I loved onions when I was there.
Every time I went down there, I'm like,
well, because, you know, you're eating all the, it's funny because it's interesting how when you start eating to that level daily throughout the day and juicing the way I was juicing, you know, your taste buds, you regenerate differently, and they're not regenerating according to that. My body was regenerating according to what I was putting it in. That it was delicious. Like everything tastes so good. Like the onions tasted great, and the avocados. Oh, I love avocados. They were like to another level. And I'm like, I want it. That's how. But it was, you know, even though we had this variety of stuff, but everything just seemed to taste to that degree. So I would ask, like, so can I get like a bowl of onions? Prior to that, there was no way I could do it like that. We would be grilled.
I still can't. Not a fan.
Now I can. Yeah.
And she does, guys. But the point is that she went to this facility because she had cancer. She wasn't alone in that. A lot of people have gone there for several health opportunities.
Yes. I mean, a lot of them had cancer, but not just cancer. They had
different stuff going on.
All sorts of stuff.
But universally speaking, what was helping them all was to switch to a strictly raw vegetarian vegan diet. Like there was no animal products whatsoever. And
they actually, even the stuff that they grew there, you know, because our soil is so bad, but their soil, they had like the worms. They were doing everything to keep this stuff like amazing.
Yeah, and listen, study after study after study after study after study, and there's so many out there. So please look into this. They say that they show removing animal products from your diet, really meat, especially meat, is a good way to avoid carcinogenics, a good way to prevent cancer, period.
Yes.
In fact, certain countries around the world that have the lowest level of cancer, period, India, for example, a lot of their food is actually vegetarian.
Yes.
Vegan. I mean, they don't, it's just because, but for them, the irony is that for them, it's because meat is so expensive. It just makes more sense to eat vegetables, but it's to their benefit.
Well, I think of like Puerto Rico, right?
Sure.
Where I was born. When you look,
I've never been.
Oh, stop it! You'll go one day. But the thing is that we're known for vegetables. You know, all these root vegetables, yucca, and
and a lot of fruit.
Yes, but so many different types, and you know they're just delicious, by the way. But It was only when you look back in there when they're like, oh, but they eat pig and they did. But if you go way back at the time before the Spaniards and stuff went there, pigs weren't there. Pigs were brought there. So these animals that people started eating after that, it was actually introduced by the Spaniards. Right. We didn't have that. We were more into the roots and stuff that were growing on the earth.
Right. And so the other thing is, if you wanted to look into dip your toe into a vegetarian lifestyle, Lourdes said, see how you react. You might find that you feel better.
And there's books out there, by the way.
Yes.
You know, I mean, I have a book out there that it's a 3-week step into a healthier you. Mm-hmm. You can get on Amazon, and it's got recipes and it's got notes and stuff that you can put inside it as well. But it has you do one thing. So in other words, whatever you're eating and stuff like that, you still do that, but you're adding one thing to that. And slowly but surely, you're pushing out more of the stuff that,
It's available on Amazon, by the way.
So, but there's a lot of books out there. I mean, even Dr. Newsom's book, which is Detox for Life. And I do really like that because it goes into, it's not just recipes. It goes into the whole reason of detoxing.
Yeah, that's available on drnewsom.com.
And you can get a 15% off when you go there and you put Lourdes and Chris as the promo code.
That's right.
But you know, there are a lot of books out there with all these recipes that if you want to try things, because you want to have, like, you don't want to go, I had an apple. There, you know, I ate a celery. There's a plethora. When you look at all the different colors, have different vitamins and nutrients, and because of it.
So we've run into some people who are vegetarian, vegan, and they're still overweight. They're still having a lot of health problems. Here's what we ask them. Oh, okay, so what's your diet? Oh yeah, I eat French fries. I have milkshakes. I I'm plant-based, guys. And you go, yeah, you can be plant-based.
You can be plant-based, but you can still eat bad.
Yeah.
I mean, sugars.
I have bagel every day. And bagel is technically like, no, it's not. You're like, it's like, so you get what we're saying, like in any diet, you can go to the other side and you can eat French fries all day, every day, and technically you're still doing a
right, but you're not putting anything. Yeah, you got this fried stuff that, because of the oils and stuff they did, now it's a carcinogen. So you're really not doing it, but breaking down your body. So
right.
Really
so
eating healthy.
The point I was bringing up with that is, if you find a strict vegetarian, and there's always that joke that how can you tell someone's a vegetarian? Oh, just wait, they'll tell you. Okay, let me explain. Let me explain that one just a little bit, just to defend vegetarians and vegans everywhere. When Lourdes and I go to like a barbecue or a picnic or out to eat or something like that, we don't want to say, hey guys, we're vegan and in your face. That's not what we're trying to do.
Like, who cares?
It just comes up because they go, hey, burger or hot dog, and you go, no.
Unless it's plant-based, we'll have it. But
none of that,
because we're not going to eat it. We have zero desire to eat it, and it's not our thing. So it's just like if someone's coming to our house, right, and we're cooking out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're gonna do our vegan food.
Yeah,
that's just what it is. So if they want their meat, they will have to bring their meat, which we've done.
Yeah.
You know, we've gone to family members when they're doing a cookout, and we bring our plant-based hamburger, hot dog, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Or vegetable, whatever. And we have it grilled on the griller. But so we do that in case they don't have what we can eat. But for the most part, a lot of times they make whatever they're making, and because we don't want to eat it, and we're not trying to insult their cooking. It's just that that's not what we eat.
Yeah, so that's the root of that joke. It's not really that we'd like to brag about it. It's just it comes up because organically in conversation, at some point in time, we're gonna be like, we don't eat that. We'll have this instead or whatever.
Just go,
I'll eat your meat. Here you go.
Yeah,
but my ultimate point is, if you find someone that's a true vegetarian or a vegan, they're probably not overweight.
Yeah. A healthy, true vegetarian.
You're right. The ones that are really eating like the proper amount of greens and keeping it, especially the raw vegans.
Organic, yeah. Well, we met a few that they don't age, man.
No. They look great.
No wrinkles, no grays, nothing. And it's funny because they'll have
not an ounce of fat on their body.
None, and they're like toned.
Yep.
I mean, they're healthy. And it's funny because they'll start telling you some story that happened like in the 50s and 60s, and you're going,
yeah, wait a minute.
How old are you?
Yeah.
You know, I'm like,
how would you know?
Right, because you're looking at them, they look like maybe they're in their 30s, and then you're like, wait, you're in your like mid 60s. So what do you do? And then you find out they're raw vegan, organic, but they're like hardcore.
Yeah. So I mean, so if that's what's going to get you to a vegetarian vegan lifestyle, you'll look great.
Yeah, but they've been doing it for a long time. I'm just like, my goodness,
We
great.
I just hit that microphone.
So good.
We met a guy at a health expo, and he said something that always kind of stuck with us, and we'll use it every now and then. He said, "You don't see obese people living to be 100."
That's true.
And you don't see obese animals. Like if you look in the animal kingdom, especially the ones that are herbivores like gazelles and whatever else, they're lean and mean. You don't see a big chubby one.
Yeah. And actually it seems, now I'll have to look, but what I've looked at before, it seems like the animals that are vegan live longer than the animals that aren't vegan. Just in general, I've noticed, like, you know what I'm saying? If you look at a tiger, you see them aging.
Well, in fact, it's known that the vegetarian diet does slow the aging process. You said it pretty much in so many words, but and why? Why is that? Okay, so let's unpack that real quick before we move on. You're getting all the phytonutrients that your body really needs, like we said, to keep building itself the proper way.
Vitamins, phytonutrients, trace minerals.
When you eat meat or animal products, your body has to take from itself to process that. You get what we're saying? It's like you're robbing yourself from nutrition at that level, just so it can contend with the thing that you thought.
Yeah, and what's beautiful is that, and I was telling people, like when you go out to do like a vegetable, mixture, and you get your seasonings, right? Your garlics and your salts and your onions and stuff. So you want to season it up and use herbs and stuff, because that's what you do even when you have meat, right? You season it up. It's the same thing you do with vegetables. You'll be amazed how delicious it is. But go and make sure that you do get colorful, because every color is because of a different vitamin and mineral. So it creates that color. So the more vegetables you put and the more colorful you get, you're getting more and more of the stuff that actually, when you combine them and you're eating them together, actually creates more compounds of other things that it may not have, but because you put those two together, it created that.
Yeah, and that we're just trying to give you guys stuff to think about, food for thought, as it were, pun intended. Food for thought, man. Because listen, we want everybody to live a long and healthy life, and from what we can tell from personal experience, that equals a vegetarian vegan lifestyle. So,
and just look, add more veggies, add more, and when you want a dessert, add more fruits.
So the reason why I bring that up is because there's a lot of myths out there as far as certain meats are healthier than other meats and all this other stuff. If you're not going out of your way to find no hormones, no antibiotics, no anything, strictly grass, free range. If you're not getting the highest quality, whatever, it's not good for you guys.
Period.
If you go to I'm not going to say the word. If you go to a specific fast food restaurant that does Chinese food and sweet chicken is kind of their big dish, I can almost guarantee that that's not no antibiotics, no hormones. It's not high quality, and so you're kind of fooling yourself into thinking you're doing something healthy, and you're hurting yourself. It's just something to look at.
So,
all right, sorry. So that's we're getting down from the soapbox now. It's just we just really love everybody, and we just want everybody to really pay attention to what they're putting into their body. We would ask that you try the vegetarian lifestyle or the vegan lifestyle,
or just add more vegetables to your diet.
I was going to say, but at the very minimum, withdraw a little bit on that stuff that you know is not good for you. Put the good stuff that you know is good for you in a higher quantity into your diet.
And a lot of people say, well, it's expensive to do organic. It's expensive to do this. Not really, because when we go shopping for organic, because we're not busy getting all these chips and junk food and stuff, and that's out of our diet, we have enough money to get the stuff that we can get that's organic, and it's not
you kind of stumbled on another point that we had found in our research. Like look, meat is expensive now, guys. I mean, look, everything's getting more and more expensive, but the organic stuff, especially if you can find a farmer's market or something like that, it's actually the more economical way to eat. But having said that, listen, we can go on and on and on about
That's
this.
true.
Really, what we're trying to get to is pay attention to what you're putting in your body when it comes to food, because that's going to be the very first step in how your body reacts, and to get you onto a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah.
Obviously, the supplements that we approve of are like drnewsom.com.
Yes, you want to get into supplements because you'll go, but if I'm eating healthy, our soil is so depleted, and most people know this. So it's through the soil that it goes to the roots, that goes into the plant that you're eating. But if it's lacking those nutrients that it needs in order to give you the amount of minerals and vitamins and so on, and it's lacking it, it's not going to give you 100% of that.
Right.
Never mind that most things are picked before it's even ripe to get.
No, you're right.
what you
Yeah.
need.
Yeah.
So we're going to need it. We're going to need the supplements. So we need to get good supplements. We want to make sure that the supplements that we're putting into our bodies actually building us up. Dr. Newsom's products, by the way, we know
Are of the highest quality.
are of the highest quality when it comes to your gut health, whatever you're dealing with, brain. Just go on there, check out his products. We know for sure that it is amazing. We love his stuff. You can go also onto Root Brand, which is therootbrands.com/create option C. When you go there, you just sign up. It's free. It's just like when you go on Amazon in order to purchase, you sign up. There's no charge. And when you go on there, you can even do Root Prime like Amazon Prime, and so that you got an auto ship and you get like free shipping and all these great benefits like you would do with Amazon. But these products, and we've tried them, and we're not letting it go. It's great.
No, it's become part of our rotation.
Yeah, because it's doing the same thing. And in fact, putting the two together, it's like marrying them together. It really seems like they complement each other to seriously. It's
feeling
amazing.
great, great, guys.
So we've been doing those things, and that's what we've been doing is combining those two together. We've been doing his products along with the Root Brands product. And obviously Root Brands is about getting things out of the tissue and stuff.
Right. We're looking, protection and removing harmful toxins that are in your
body.
body.
You see what's going on lately in our time, with viruses and stuff. It's really to help you, to protect you, to stay healthy in your immune system.
Right on. Exactly right. Yeah. So we do appreciate you. We appreciate you coming on. Like we said, go to drnewsom.com, Lourdes and Chris promo code. We talked about that already. Yep. And check out the Root Brand as well, because you're removing toxins from your body. We also thank all of you for going on to lourdesandchrisshow.com. The lourdesandchrisshow.com has all the episodes. We didn't even get into Sherry Calbaum and her juicing, but do check out Sherry Calbaum's our conversation with Sherry Calbaum, because she's the juice lady, and she is putting a bunch of nutrients into a small.
Yes. In fact, when you go on there,
delicious juices.
We actually even share her website. That's there, right. And she's got a code as well, so you can get a deal on the actual amazing juicer that we ourselves have.
Yes,
the JAMA, and but she also has recipes.
That's right.
Great recipes. We love her recipes.
No, delicious. Yeah. That's what we're saying. It's delicious, and it's high nutrition, guys. Yes. So that's what we're all about.
And when you go onto her site as well, you can go on. She's got so many things going on that, you guys got to check it out. And she's got videos that she shows on a daily basis. She's always sharing and really giving you so much information on how to do things to stay healthy.
And you can follow us on all the social medias.
Yes.
Things. Just all around us. Oh, social media. They're amazing. Because we like that, and we do reach out, and we respond whenever you guys respond to us, and we say hello.
Yes.
So listen,
So we're wrapping up.
Okay. So listen, we're going to wrap this up this week, because really we just want us we just wanted to really touch base on something that is important, which is pay attention to what you're putting in your body, and
more so now than ever.
Yep.
If you look around, there's so many people getting sick and all these issues with virus and stuff. You really want to have
get in integrity with yourself. You know instinctively what's good and what's not, but really try to put more of the vegetables and the fruits into your diet. You really need those guys. Yes. We'll see you again in about a week.
Yep.
Because we love you, and that's what this is. Every week on Thursday night at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, the Lourdes and Chris Show will have another episode for you, because we're just out to change the conversation surrounding our health, and this is what it is. So we appreciate you. We love you. We'll see you again in about a week.
See you.